I'd like to thank the Unfinished team and Christian Capucine and all the team because they remind us, and I really like the quote that I put here, that the change comes from everywhere. And I would also quote Margaret Mead that said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." So, you're the one. I'm going to bring you toward a journey. At the end of this journey, I would like you to think, if she has done it, or if she does it, I can do it. Why? Here is my job at Danone. Danone, or Danone, I don't know how you pronounce actually. Danone is a big company, food company that makes water like Evian, maybe you heard of Evian, you know Evian, or the yogurts, okay? And I've been hired by the former president of Danone, Franck Ribou, to be Prospective and New Concept VP. Okay, what does it mean? I am responsible for the development of any idea that was written like that has the potential to take the Danone Group forward, whether in terms of marketing, HR, social or societal issues in whatever country. Great, the world is my oyster. At Danone, they call me the free electron, Jiminy Cricket, or the corporate hacker. But wait, the funnier part is I have no team and no money. That's why I told you, it's up to you. It's a story we can share. So, I love that. Why? Because it means that each time I have an idea, I have to convince people to put money behind the idea, and I have to convince people to come and help me. And that's a real torture test. Because if no one is convinced, either it was not a good idea, or it was not an idea that was important enough for me that I will move mountain to achieve it. And yet, without money and without team, you can still make an impact. This is good news, no? I was even ranked again last year amongst the 500 chances for France. Yeah, I'm based in France, and Danone is the French group. The headquarters is in France. So, everyone can do it. And some of you maybe have heard Adrian this morning, and it really resonates with what he said about leadership. As I told you, I have no team, so it means that each time, because of course at the end I have a team, but I lead them, I don't manage them, they don't report to me, they don't have a better bonus because they will come and work for me. So it means that they work with me because it's fun, because it makes sense, because they have, it's interesting. So you can do it as far as you have a project that is really meaningful for you and for your environment. And it all comes from here, from the guts. So you have to be connected to your guts, and you have to hear what they want to tell you. You have to follow your instincts. You do what you like. And after, you post-rationalize to sell it. And it's true that very often at school, you learn how to make a reasoning, but you don't learn enough to think, to let your instincts come. And last but not least, you're not afraid. You go and you see. Not afraid of doing something you don't know, not afraid of pushing, not of pulling, of insisting, of disagreeing, because a lot of people may have another opinion, and then at the end of the day, you don't even know what you wanted to say, because everyone has an opinion. So you have to stick on what is important for you. Okay, so I'm gonna tell 3 stories in order to show you how it works, how I do it. So one is about organic agriculture, les deux vaches, means the 2 cows. The other one is about women leadership, the EVE program. I will tell you why EVE. And the third one is about tolerance, which is the Danone of the world. That's les deux vaches, the two cows. So the initial idea was to enter organic agriculture. And you have to understand that Danone is a very big corporation, big company, and the organic people, they don't like big corporation and big company. So they were afraid of us coming like a big elephant in a small market. So I said, I don't want to go to this market if we have nothing to do. We must find a vision. We must find a mission. And I realized that it was more than 10 years ago. People, actually, most of the people in France, they were not interested by organic at all. They thought it was not very nice. So, in a nutshell, the challenge was the following. How to enter a market you are not welcome, using levers you are not used to, for consumers who don't like you. Easy. Actually, levers you're not used to, because for those kind of consumers, marketing means bullshit. So Danone will help to develop this tiny market, but at the same time, we really have to show the organic people, to transform them as an ally. And actually, before launching the brand, I spent maybe 6-8 months with all those people from the organic fields. And at the beginning, they said, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see the big Danone. I said, my name is not the big Danone. My name is Anne, and I worked with Danone. But so and together we will succeed. So what we do is more than a product. It's a brand with a vision, okay? I told you, at that time, no one did care for organic. They thought it was stern, sinister, not good, too expensive. Therefore, the organic farmers, they did not manage to make a living out of their production. This was our fight. Help farmers to get outlets for their organic milk production. We're going to save the organic farmers. We could have created 2 spokespersons, well, 2 spoke cows, and we explain to the consumers why producing organic, thus eating organic, is so important for the health of the planet, but also for their own health. So you see, they have 2 different roles. You have the one with the glasses, who has a pedagogical role. They will explain why it's so important to eat organic. And the other one is the funny one, is the fringe like that and the stains like flowers. And then we had a quite different marketing. We went to, at that time also, 10 years ago, it was another way to talk, not top-down with advertising, but going in the streets and talking to people and making them understand what we were doing. So you recognize me, I'm on the right. It was, for example, we did some happening. It was a new tramway in Paris, and we went there saying, yeah, the tramway, the 2 cows love the tramway because the tramway is good for the planet. And it was so different marketing that, as you can see, we had big pages in the newspaper to show that it was quite different. We were on the street. We were interfering in the political campaign, asking the candidates what were the plans for organic agriculture, all that stuff. Things that are not usually made by big companies. And today, Les Deux Vaches is a real success. It has established Danone as one of the key players in the organic field, and more importantly, it really helped all the organic farmers to make a living out of their milk products. And actually, we don't have any available organic milk product now in France. So, great success. Okay, and now, from cows to women. Let's talk about the EVE program on women leadership. So why EVE? Because, of course, according to the Bible, you can say she was the first actress of change, bringing the apple to men, okay? But also because it takes place in Evian, a tiny city where we produce the water. Let me tell you how it began, because it can help you figure out what to do when you are asked to do something you're not interested in at all. So I reported to Franck Ribou, who was the president and general manager, the CEO of Danone. And he asked me to design an event with other companies to help women to get to the top, to break the glass ceiling, to have more promotions. I say, why me? I'm not interested at all with this issue. I don't care, actually, and I'm not an HR person, and I hate organizing things, so why are you asking me to do so? So exactly for these 3 reasons. I think you're going to do something interesting with it. Okay. So I remind you, I have no budget, I have no team, and I just have to change the position of women inside corporations. All right. So I'd better find an idea, again, that take my guts, my instinct, my heart, my brain, that help me to make me move mountains. So first, I realized that very often women think they should act as men to succeed. Sometimes they can be even harsher. And studies show that in the business world, I don't know, probably not very different in the artistic world, but in the business world, when a post is vacant, if a man wants it, he asks for it, and a woman, she waits to be asked. When a man has 50% of the competencies, you say, okay, I will learn while doing, and it is right, I mean, it makes the job interesting. And a woman, she needs 80% of the competencies to feel legitimate. What a shame. So I realized that women don't dare enough. We don't say enough what we want. Hence, we women, we have a co-responsibility in the existence of the glass ceiling. So I decided, and that interests me, I will help women to gain confidence, and that will help organization, then most of the time men leading the organizations, to gain awareness about the women's situation and the different behavior. So what a solution then? I have a strong conviction that if you want to change things for the better, better begin by changing yourself. So we have conceived a program of plenaries and workshops based on personal development and on the following motto: be yourself and unleash your potential. And it was quite new at that time also, because it's now 10 years ago. Now, next week is going to be the 9th edition in Evian. And it works quite well, because if you think you're not a victim, but if you think you are co-responsible of the situation, then you master more things. Then you dare to go. And it works quite well today, as actually we have been asked by L'Oréal, because it's an inter-event, I told you, inter-company event. And I like that because it's not Danone who asked me to design an event for Asia, but L'Oréal. And then we have designed an event for Africa, and the next one in 2019 will be in North America. So we have all these editions now every year in all those continents with many partners. We have 40 companies following us. So see, something you don't want to do at first, but then if you turn it, if you tear it, if you change the way to take it, it can begin a beautiful baby. And most importantly, waves are really being made with regards to the role of women in business. And this seminar builds change makers who have a contagious effect around them. And in many, many companies now, we have really changed the figures on the top of the company. And last but not least, les Danone du monde, the Danone of the world. As you can see, it's a range of yogurts with different recipes from all over the world. But it is more than that. It is what we can call a meaningful brand with a posture. So, again, my job, actually, I consider my job, because remember the name of my job is prospective, a new concept. But prospective, it means I'm very connected. I told you about how try to be connected to the environment. I'm very connected with my environment, I feel things. That's why I thought we need to go to organic agriculture. And also, I thought it was not only women the problem, but more how you can rely on yourself, how you can be centered, and all that is in the air, actually. And this story, it was also in the air. It was 2014. I was listening to the radio, and I heard very bad things about migrants, about foreigners, at that time we had also the wedding for homosexuals. So everyone were very in bad mood, not everyone, but a lot of people were yelling, and I felt horrified. I didn't want to see my country shrinks like that. And it was way before Trump, the Brexit, and all the nationalism a bit everywhere. And I asked myself, what can I do, being a Danone, I need to do something, because it makes something in my heart, and I have to do something. And I realized that fear becomes from ignorance. And people think strangers are strange because they don't know them. So I thought, I'm going to launch a range of yogurts of the world and use the yogurt as a vehicle of conversation, of sharing, of talking, of understanding other people's culture. So to make a long story short, you see, oh, sorry. It's okay? No, okay. So you see, we have a vision, which is diversity is a source of wealth, and the mission that I wrote like that, I want to open tastes and minds. And then you have the range. And remember, with the 2 cows, I thought a lot of people write to the 2 cows. And usually people, they don't write to yogurt or to water, but they write to the 2 cows. So I thought I need an icon. And this icon actually is named Danny, because the founder of Danone, it was Isaac Carasso. He named Danone after his son, Daniel. And they were migrants themselves. So he's a kind of couch surfer. He goes to other country and he will tell us stories about the country. And the claim, which is discover what the goodness of the world. Okay, it may look easy. It took me 4 years because we've just launched that in April. So it needed 4 years to make this dream come true, because a lot of people at Danone, they didn't understand quite well why I wanted to do that. And also, some of them were supportive, but I tell you, so I had to convince people, and at the end, France and Italy and UK, they launched simultaneously, giving me people to work with and money, and that's how it began. But many products to taste, many machines to buy, many people to convince. And of course, at Danone, beyond people who got an interest about the impact on society, most of my interlocutors, they wanted to know what was the impact of business. And actually it has, of course, because it brings new way of eating at new moments. And it also brings, it's a real new innovation on shelves. But this whole story to tell you that at the end, it's very good for the business, but this brand has a posture, and it's very important that you are not on the product level, but on the ambition level, what you want to do, what impact you want to make. And last but not least, because that's very important, I wanted a proof of the concept. So we have designed a place to gather people from all the countries, and we have dinners, chat. For example, we have, I don't know, Syrian dinner, and someone from Syria, they come and they talk, and we eat Syrian. And so there's a place that is really focused on sharing, exchanging other people's cultures. The important thing also is that as it is way up than just launching a range of products, we have a tremendous amount, more than any other launch, amount of press release, because it's very important to tell story, actually. To tell story that resonate in other people's mind, not just talk to their wallet, but talk to their behavior as citizens. Okay, so just as a conclusion, I will give you a last quote, very important, which is, don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your own inner voice. Thank you.